Hi, I'm Michael Voss, owner of Pyxis.co.nz. Today I'm going to share with you a presentation that I delivered to the Manawatu Chamber of Commerce back in May 2008, when a lot of local businesses here in New Zealand were suffering because of tough economic times. I recently rediscovered the presentation and found it interesting that nearly 4 years later the messages for businesses are still much the same today. So, onto the presentation. There are a kaleidoscope of choices out there today. So, the question that needs to be asked is, can you afford to wait until things get better? Your competitors won't be waiting. They're effectively putting you out of business if you do nothing. And government and NGOs don't escape either. We as customers demand better service from these organisations. Government also is demanding lower costs for its service delivery. So the logical choice is to lead your organisation to the new future, rather than to leave it to others to decide its fate. Here are 10 key messages for you to lead your organisation to this new future. Clearly the world has changed. The media is full of messages on the end of cheap oil, global warming, financial market instability, recession, flu viruses. These are just a few of the changes, and there are more to come. World power is shifting from the US to Asia and India this century. Also in New Zealand, we've got this growing realisation that we have a gross domestic product the size of Sydney. So we're a very small nation, and we're increasingly unable to pay for our lifestyle with the commodities that we currently export. The one thing we can be sure of is in these uncertain times is that we're at the start of a period of constant change. Our organisations need to be able to respond and thrive in this changing environment. We are very fortunate. New Zealand organisations are small and can be very flexible and able to respond quickly to change. You need to exploit your strengths. Focus in that area where you're strongest. Competition is increasingly global. You simply can't afford to be anything other than excellent, and you must also be first. Shed those activities that are not aligned with your vision. Get close to your customers, so close that you understand their business. If you can, better than they do. Listen to their needs. Build strong relationships with your customers. Get them involved in conceiving and designing your future products and services. Anticipate what's needed to deliver higher value products and services to your customers. Understand what your competitive advantage is now and what it will be in future. Invest in research and development to create that new capability to meet future needs and gain competitive advantage. Engage all stakeholders in your future. This creates an exciting place to work, where there will be no shortage of staff who want to become involved. I know that a lot of you are struggling to find good workers. There's nothing more exciting for a worker than knowing that there's an exciting place to work. Speed to market is key. Becoming first is the only place that you want to be. Partnering with others is a good way to be first. Alliances and acquisitions can prove very worthwhile here. Focus on core business and make sure that it's aligned with your vision. Cut out non-core activities that stretch your scarce resources. Change your organisation to maximise the value you deliver to your customers. Cut out waste. Toyota has its Toyota production system, popularly known as Lean, to remove waste in its processes. As a result, Toyota is the only motor vehicle manufacturer today still actually posting a profit. We Kiwis tend to try to do everything ourselves. I used to be able to fix the car, electrical and electronic appliances, but I certainly wouldn't attempt to do that today. Our cars and appliances recently have become so complex that we need experts to carry out these complex jobs and make sure they're done correctly and safely. So for example, if you wanted to place a large advertisement on the side of a building, you're best to bring in the experts such as Oggy, the billboard company. This frees up your time to do what you're best at. So use your contacts, your board and support you can find to realise your vision. Experts do things fast, efficiently and right first time. I noticed that quite a number of local businesses are encouraging their staff to enter dragon boat racing. Now I don't know too much about dragon boat racing, but I've made a couple of interesting observations. They have a drummer, and the purpose of the drummer is to keep time, and this seems to be important for communication amongst everybody who's involved in the boat. They have a sweep, whose responsibility is to steer the boat. They need to compensate for wind, swell, currents, the weight from other boats, always noting the prevailing conditions. Business is very similar to dragon boat racing, so make sure your drummer and sweep are doing their jobs well in your business. During unsettling times, staff become fearful for their jobs. The late W. Edwards Deming, the quality guru responsible for the system of profound knowledge and his 14 points for management, talked about fear in point 8. He said, drive out fear so everyone may work efficiently for the company. Fear is a significant barrier to change and must be driven out. So involve staff in your vision, communicate often with staff, keep them informed with what's happening in your organisation, engage your staff in making the changes, and reward the most productive effort of your people. A lot of my consulting work involves helping organisations to dismantle old management practice that has accumulated over the years and has long since passed its use-by date. When we add new policies, procedures and work standards, we often don't look at the existing systems that may be affected. So revisit your old systems and retire ones that don't add value to your customers. Get rid of this waste in your organisation. Most organisations have far too many KPIs, the measures they use to keep track of where they're going. Many measures are financial, which being lagging, they relate to yesterday, last week, last month and last year. They're always looking in the past. They don't help with predicting the future. So we need a balance of lead measures along with the lag measures. And these need to relate to your vision, your customers and staff. It's been well proven that it takes happy staff to satisfy customers. So those of you with customer-facing staff need your people to be happy. In that way, they'll deliver a great customer experience. We need to understand what is important to customers. For example, look at the quality of tomatoes. Is it the evenness of redness that's important to our customer, or the lack of blemishes, or the presence of the green calyx? Not all customers are looking for the same thing. We need to know what quality means for each of our customers, and then make sure we deliver it. Once you know what your customer needs, then use measures to track the progress and communicate these measures often with staff. Trust your judgment. Use all your contacts. Listen to experts and mentors. Steer your organisation with a steady hand. Be patient. I've always found that things generally take longer than we expect. During 1938 in the US, Wallace Carruthers at DuPont was charged with finding a replacement for silk, which became unavailable at the time. Silk was essential for parachutes at the time. The result was a material we take for granted today, nylon. It was developed out of necessity and during a time of great uncertainty. During the 1987 stock market crash, I was a member of the PEC senior management team, and we were considering how we could possibly fund completing a major development. And this was shortly after having to let 7 staff go, the first time there had been redundancies in over 50 years of business. We made the very difficult decision to continue to develop the 8850 retail point-of-sale system when we could least afford to do so. As a result of that decision, we completed a product that went on to generate almost $100 million of revenue for PEC over the next decade, and some of those systems are still in operation today. It's often during times of significant change and turbulence that individuals and organisations excel and achieve really great things. This needs to be you and your organisation. Many thanks for listening. All the best for a better and brighter future. I'm Michael Voss, owner of Pyxis.co.nz.